What's up? Plush here, back with another Yap video. Or I guess this is a rant video. I'm just gonna make, rant videos. My last rant, it started out like, it was really like dead. And then like recently, it's like been blowing up somehow. Like, thanks for 700 subs, by the way. But like, look, for some reason, this has like 3,000 views, almost 4,000. I literally just yapped about how much I hate Invisigal in this video. But I guess rant videos is, I guess I can do those. So I'm gonna do another one right now. If you read the title and the thumbnail, you can see all these tabs I have open. This is about the concept of a fully adapted Mahoraga. Some people think that like saying Mahoraga can adapt to any and all phenomena is a no limits fallacy or whatever. And I would agree with that, but that's not like that applies to the canon version of Mahoraga. And I'm gonna talk about this later, but like inherently, the version of Mahoraga you're using is not the canon version. Cause like if you put fully adapted Mahoraga against Goku, and he's adapted to everything Goku can do, like in canon, Mahoraga wouldn't be able to do that because he would get smoked before he can adapt to like literally anything. Like one Kamehameha is just gonna evaporate him. So like when you're talking about a fully adapted Mahoraga, you kinda have to like make your own version of it depending on what character you're putting it against. Because I don't really. If you've watched any video where I've like scaled JJK before, I don't particularly have the verse very high. So like if you're putting Mahoraga up against any character that's like above planetary, he's just getting cooked. They're like he's not gonna have any room to adapt, right? But fully adapted Mahoraga, he's already adapted to everything. And that doesn't happen in canon. So like inherently this is a fake version of Mahoraga that you create. But I'm gonna talk about that like later. So I have a bunch of YouTube posts where I was arguing with this guy in comments. This guy named G Scaling. He's like a Goku Glazer kinda. He's like part of the like Chip Sauce middle track crowd. I don't really have anything against him. No hate to him. I just want to talk about his arguments, right? So this is his argument, and my comment is right here, and we exchanged, right? I typed way more because I'm just like that. But he says every single JJK fan in the comments literally just repeat the same thing, but he can adapt to any and everything and never attack my arguments. I don't understand how Ronald works and read the series with your eyes closed. Ironic. He can adapt to everything, but never adapt to losing. That doesn't really make sense. Like, alright. Or to the concept of surviving any attack whatsoever. I mean, he kind of does. Like, when he's attacking, when he's adapting to an attack, he's adapting to the concept of surviving that attack, isn't he? Like, if he's adapting to, like, a domain expansion, right? Then he's adapting to the concept of surviving a domain expansion. Or specifically Gojo or Yorozu's domain, right? Well, moving on. The concept of not being limited by the wheel turning and instead adapting instantly. I don't really know what he's yapping about here. Like, the thing that he doesn't understand is Mahoraga can adapt to one thing at a time. and he's only gonna adapt to something that's like actually a threat to him. Like he's not gonna just randomly adapt to like the fabric of reality itself just because he feels like it. He has to be provoked into doing that. So like if he's fighting a character and the only way to win is to like adapt to like getting punched, he's gonna adapt to getting punched. Like if you put him against like Yuji from like season one, but you like buff Yuji stats, the only thing Yuji can do is punch and kick. So what's Mahoraga gonna do? He's just gonna adapt to getting punched and kicked. And I don't know what he means here, because Mahoraga literally adapted to getting sliced by Sukuna. Like, I'm pretty sure that happened. Like, hold on. Yeah, he adapted to slashing attacks in general. So, hypothetically, he can adapt to getting punched, because that's how his ability works. Moving on. He says, but the hypothetical says he has adapted to everything. Yeah, to everything he can canonically adapt to. Raga can't adapt to the concept of losing or to the concept of being potentially surpassed by a character's growth or to a power system as a whole. I semi agree with that. Like I covered already, he has to adapt to something. He has to be like provoked by it, right? Like he's not gonna just adapt to like a power system unless that's the only way to win. Like let's say he's like I don't know. I don't know what would provoke him to like adapting to the concept of cursed energy, but I'm sure it's possible. He just has to be provoked into it. Because he adapted to the concept of slashing attacks in general. So like I don't really know. But that's irrelevant, right? So yeah, he's making the argument that like in lore, he there's a limit to what he can actually adapt to, right? And he's not gonna adapt to things that he can't adapt to. Unfortunately, that's not what fully adapted means. But let's continue. If you want to make him adapt to these things, then you also have to clarify that you're using a headcanon, not more accurate version of Mahoraga that has nothing to do with Mahoraga from JJK. A Mahoraga whose adaptation far exceeds the ones in JJK and works on a greater scale than what Gege has shown us. Mm. So I covered this before, like you're inherently using a lore, I mean a headcanon version of Mahoraga. Like if you put him against Goku and he's adapted to the stuff that Goku can do, that's not real, right? That's not actually gonna happen. So inherently, you're using a fake version of Mahoraga. So like another thing, hold on. If you're taking JJK and more accurate Raga and making him adapt to Goku, then he will only have adapted to all of Goku's current forms and techniques. However, if Goku pulls out a new form or technique, or yawn, I'm tired. However, if Goku pulls out a new form or technique, then Raga is cooked. And as I have already explained, he can't adapt to the potential growth of a character since that what more accurate Raga can't do. More accurate Raga doesn't start the fight fully adapted to everything his opponent can do, but whatever. And I like how he says, clarify that you're using a headcanon. Then he goes on to say, if you're taking more accurate Raga and making him adapt to Goku. So he agrees that this hypothetical version of Mahoraga can adapt to the stuff Goku can do. But he's still pretending that it's more accurate and it's not headcanon. Like, to the person watching this video, tell me if you think Mahoraga is taking a Kamehameha from Goku, from base Goku. And not even like current Goku, like any Goku past like the Saiyan saga, base Goku. Tell me if you think Mahoraga is taking a Kamehameha from him. If you need a hint, the answer is no, right? But fully adapted Mahoraga can, because he's adapted to Goku's Kamehameha. See how that, like, the fully adapted Mahoraga is a headcanon version inherently, and is, like, not actually the real one, because the real one wouldn't be able to adapt to, like, Goku's stuff. I'm pretty sure I said this in my comment. Hold on. Yeah, I did. Okay. This is my comment right here. I say, bro, your entire argument hinges on your assumption that Maharu cannot adapt to everything. That blatantly goes against his ability description, which is to adapt to any and all phenomena. And regardless, we're using a headcanon Mahoraga by default. The only way Mahoraga could sorry, watching the bonus fire. The only way Mahoraga could adapt to, say, a Kamehameha is if he was hit by it and survived. And we know that wouldn't happen, so artistic liberties have to be taken inherently for this hypothetical to work. Mahoraga can adapt to the potential growth of a character, he can adapt to new forms, and he can adapt to a power system. That's literally just how his ability works. Saying that's not how it works doesn't mean you're right. For reference, Mahoraga literally adapted to the concept of slicing attacks in general. If you need that scan, it's right here. I noticed in your original message you said he can't adapt to the concept of being punched, which is just wrong. He can. The thing with Mahoraga is he can't adapt to more than one thing at a time. When he's fighting characters with complex hacks abilities, he's gonna adapt to that first. But if he fought a character who literally just punches and kicks, then yeah, Mahoraga would adapt to being punched or kicked. That's just how it works. So like I said with the Yuji example, if you put Mahoraga against like a buffed version of like season one Yuji at that point he can only punch and kick. So Mahoraga is gonna adapt to the concept of being punched and kicked. So in his reply he says, I literally explained why he can't adapt to everything and anything. By that logic he can adapt to an omnipotent being, which makes no sense whatsoever. Your arc shit don't even attack what I'm saying. It's a headcanon raga. No one cares about a headcanon raga, because a headcanon raga isn't raga to begin with. So you're saying more accurate Raga can adapt to Goku, is what you're saying. I don't agree with you. I don't agree. I really don't agree with you. Saying it right now, you might as well say, let's disregard what this character is and what he can do and just fanfiction him. Yeah, kind of like saying he's gonna adapt to Goku's attacks. Problem is, that's not what people think when they say a fully adapted Mahoraga. I think that's just what you think. Sorry, I'm being bad. These people genuinely believe more accurate Raga can adapt to literally everything when I debunk that easily. Also, he was getting punched by Gojo and even Sukuna, and probably by many fighters before them since he's an old Shikigami, and yet he still gets punched, proving he can't adapt to getting punched. Him adapting to the concept of slashes is in reference to Sukuna's curse technique, which utilizes slashes, not to the concept of slashes from any and all attacks or CTs. Because by that logic, more accurate Raga has adapted to high outer versal slashes. Are you saying Raga from JJK during the Shibuya arc can beat high outer versal characters that slash things? You okay, my guy? So, obviously, that's not what I'm saying. I made a comment, but I just want to like dissect this argument twice. The thing, these people believe more accurate Raga. I'm pretty sure they don't. I'm pretty sure people know what they're saying when they say fully adapted Mahoraga, right? Like, you're the only one who thinks that we're taking Mahoraga out of JJK, and then he's going to adapt to his opponent's attacks. You don't get, like, what starting the fight fully adapted already means. Because he wouldn't need to adapt to Goku's new forms, because he would already have been adapted. He literally can't be surpassed because he would have adapted to that already. He'd adapt to Goku's Zenkais. He would adapt to Goku adapting to him. He adapted to everything. And that's at the start of the fight. That's not something he's going to adapt to. It's something he's already adapted to. So then this, he was getting punched by Gojo and Sukuna. Like I said, I'm pretty sure I said that before. Yeah, he basically ignored this. he's gonna adapt to the thing that's like more of a threat to him first, right? So if Gojo was just punching and kicking him the whole time, he's probably gonna adapt to like being punched and kicked. But I don't even know about that though, because he might still adapt to infinity. He might adapt to the neutral infinity. But yeah, like I said, a character who's just punching and kicking him, he's gonna adapt to punches and kicks, because that's just how it works. Him adapting to the concept of slashes in reference to wait, I missed something. And probably by many fighters before them since he's an old Shikigami. I'm pretty sure the everyone's Mahoraga is different and they don't have the same like things they adapted to before. Cause like the Mahoraga in the past, he um he fought a limitless and six eyes user, right? And that's why the Gojo and Zen and Quentin don't like each other. So if Mahoraga was the same across like every user, then the Mahoraga, like Sukuna's Mahoraga, would have already adapted to everything Gojo can do because he would have adapted to like the limitless curse technique because he killed a limitless user in the past. But it's not because everyone's Mahoraga is different. Okay, so him adapting to the concept of slashes is in reference to Sukuna's curse technique, which utilizes slashes. I think he literally makes the distinguishment between dismantle and slashing attacks. Like I think if he was mentioning like specifically his curse technique, he would have said that. But he says slashing attacks. So I'm pretty sure it's slashing attacks. I could be wrong though. I could be wrong. I'm open to the idea of me being wrong. And then by that logic, more accurate Raga has adapted to high outer versatile splashes. I don't really like care about the dimensionality and the like power scaling you never talk. That stuff confuses me, really. But yeah, if fully adapted Mahoraga is going to the ring against an outer versatile character, he's probably fully adapted to everything that that character has done. And that's not me saying that like Mahoraga can or would adapt to an outer versatile character. But by the nature of this hypothetical, he would already be fully adapted, because that's what that means. So, and look, he's saying Mahoraga from JJK during the Shibuya arc. Dude, we're not talking about canon Mahoraga here, okay? We're talking about a hypothetical version of Mahoraga that's fully adapted to all the stuff his opponent has done. But anyway, of course I got ratio. I left a long comment. Uh, I don't really want to read this. But basically, he basically ignored what I said. Like basically, you can take a second to read. Pay attention to this part. So yeah, obviously he just chickens out because that's what you do when you lose a argument in YouTube comments. And hey, I'm guilty of that too. So no shade to him. No shade to him. No shade to him. No shade to him though. So moving on, there's this other post from the same guy. Wait, Rick. All right, so yeah. Oh no, it's not. It's not the same guy. Sorry, I'm sick. Hmm.
I will make sure she's
Shut up. Gotta find the freaking. Oh, here it is. So this guy asked, "Does Mahoraga fully adapted solo fiction?" Uh, I honestly think he could take a lot of fiction. I'm not gonna say he solos though, because I don't really know. But like the debunks that I've seen for like fully adapted Mahoraga losing, they're like not really good in my opinion, as you just saw. Like this guy contradicted himself because he said we're using more accurate Mahoraga, but then he says that Mahoraga adapts to Goku, as if more accurate Mahoraga could do that, which he can't. Anyway, this guy says I wrote a long essay, like 3 paragraphs. The cornerstone of the pro-Mahoraga argument is the quote, any and all phenomena. Fans often treat this term as synonymous with everything, but this is a semantic error. By definition, phenomena refers to events or occurrences that are observable or perceivable, either directly through the senses or indirectly through measurable effects. This includes things like physical forces, energy interactions, environmental changes, or supernatural techniques that manifest in a detectable way. What it does not include are abstract absolutes, unobservable states, narrative level authority, or total metaphysical control. Treating phenomena as literally everything is a textbook example of a no limits fallacy. Assuming an ability has infinite scope simply because its upper limit has not been explicitly shown. Power scaling does not work this way. An ability is only as strong as what it demonstrably applies to or what is clearly stated within its narrative framework. I would agree with that. Like, I said this earlier, people are confusing the actual Mahoraga with the fake one that we create for the scenario. Like, a no limits fallacy would be if you took Mahoraga from JJK, like the real one, and put him against Goku, right? We're gonna use Goku again. And then instead of him being fully adapted, we're just gonna say he's a normal one, right? But he doesn't lose to Goku. We're gonna say because he can adapt to any and all phenomena, he would just adapt to all Goku's deaths anyway. He wouldn't get one shot. That's what a no limits fallacy is, right? What's not a no limits fallacy is taking a character who is gonna start the fight fully adapted to everything his opponent can do and saying he's immune to everything his opponent can do. Because that's what, like, that's not a no limits fallacy. That's just saying the truth, right? Like, I'm trying to think of an example. That's like saying your opponent, if he starts the fight wearing a bulletproof vest against the guy whose weapon is a gun, saying he's gonna be immune to all his bullet fire is not a no limits fallacy. You're just telling the truth. That's basically the same thing. Mahoraga starts fully adapted, so saying that he's immune to everything his opponent can do is not a no limits fallacy. It's just the truth. I'm pretty sure I said that here. I said, this is how Maharaga's ability works inside JJK. However, by the nature of this hypothetical, Mahoraga will be fully adapted against any character you put him against. So clearly his ability doesn't work one-to-one with the way it works inside of JJK. Otherwise, a fully adapted Mahoraga would never exist. But it does exist, because we created it for this hypothetical. Ultimately, this Mahoraga isn't the same as the one from the manga, so we can't treat its ability the same way. Your comment would apply if we took Mahoraga from JJK and put him against any character where he's unadapted from the start. But since he's fully adapted from the start already, then it implies that he can adapt to his opponent's ability, regardless of what it is. TLDR, this Mahoraga isn't the real one, so his adaptation ability isn't the same. And he can adapt to any ability in fiction as long as you put him against any fictional character. character. So yeah, basically the same thing I said. Um, I don't really know how to make this rant video longer. But yeah, ultimately, I think people don't get what fully adapted actually means, or they just like they don't get the difference between more accurate and like a fake version of a character. Like we can talk about the equal stats thing, right? With a thing that's been going around recently was like it's a trend to put equal stats Goku up against like weaker characters to make it fair. I seen one with like Goku versus Gojo. That's a fake version of Goku. It's not the real one because we're making him weaker. So like you can't apply like the more accurate logic to a fake version of Goku because he's not the real version. He's a headcanon version that we titled equal stats. That's basically what I'm saying for like for Mahoraga. It's a fake version of Mahoraga because like inherently he wouldn't actually be able to get fully adapted to the characters he's being put against. But we're basically like we're playing God in this scenario. We're taking Mahoraga, we're going in his DNA, we're editing everything to make it so he starts every fight fully adapted to it, whatever his opponent is, whatever they can do. He's fully adapted to everything already. So under that like scope, it's not the real version of Mahoraga. It's not the more accurate version. The people just gotta understand that it's not the more accurate version. You don't have to treat it as the more accurate version. Saying if he starts to fight fully adapted, then he's going to be fully adapted. That's not a no limits fallacy, and it's not even wrong. It's not even like it's not even ridiculous to say that. Like people acting like saying Mahoraga fully adapted is immune to all the things he's adapted to. They're acting like you just committed a war crime when you're just telling the truth. But anyway, that's just what I wanted to say. That's it for this rant video. Thanks for 700 subs again. Let me know in the comments what you think about fully adapted Mahoraga. Do you think he's someone with fiction? Let me steal this guy's poll. Do you think he's someone with fiction? Let me know. Let me know if he's farther. Alright, bye.